Okay, so if you run a wedding venue, you know the magic, right? But you also know that heart-pounding panic in the hours right before the ceremony, when it feels like a dozen different vendors show up all at once. What if you could just make all that chaos disappear for good? Today, we're going to unpack a playbook that transforms that vendor overload into a perfectly smooth, synchronized operation. So let's be honest for a second. Does this feel just a little too familiar? That frantic dance of juggling suppliers, every single one on their own timeline, all while the clock is ticking down to I do. It's a massive source of stress for venue owners. But I'm here to tell you, it really, truly doesn't have to be a reality. All right, first things first, let's diagnose the actual problem. We're going to break down the classic symptoms of what we're calling the wedding day scramble. See how many of these make you nod your head and say, yep, been there. Oh yeah, these are those universal moments of dread, aren't they? The floral van shows up 3 hours early, and now it's blocking the only way for the caterers to get in. The DJ is setting up his gear in the exact spot the lighting crew needs to be. And then, at the end of the night, the breakdown drags on so long you're paying your staff overtime. It's this classic domino effect, where one tiny logistical hiccup just cascades into a major headache. But here is the good news. While pretty much every venue owner has lived through this nightmare, there's a really powerful truth here. None of this is inevitable. The chaos, it's just a symptom of a much deeper issue. And when you fix that root cause, the chaos, it just kind of vanishes. So let's go find that root cause. Why does the same scramble happen wedding after wedding? I'll give you a hint. It has absolutely nothing to do with your vendors being unprofessional. The real problem is actually something way simpler and, believe it or not, much easier to fix. The real culprit, it's scattered information. Just think about it for a sec. The setup instructions are buried in an email thread from a month ago. Key details were only mentioned on a quick phone call. And you're relying on the couple who, are just a little bit busy on their wedding day to pass along really complex logistics. Every single one of those gaps and inconsistencies is a seed that just grows into chaos. And this, right here, might be the most important takeaway of all. Stop blaming your suppliers or your staff. Seriously, the problem isn't the people, it's the absence of a single, solid, standardized process. Once you fix the process, you empower everybody to do their best work, almost effortlessly. So let's make that turn. How do we actually shift from that reactive, chaotic mess to a state of proactive control? Well, it all starts with a really fundamental change in how you think about your venue's logistics. This visual just captures the transformation perfectly. You're leaving behind that old world of friction, the world of assumptions and constantly reacting to problems, and you're stepping into a state of flow. This new way is built on predictability and coordination, and it's all powered by one single source of truth for everyone. Okay, so how do we actually build this system of flow? It's really not as complicated as you might think. We've got a clear, step-by-step playbook to follow, so let's just walk through it together. Here are the 6 core moves to build your system. You start by creating really defined arrival windows and actually mapping out the traffic flow to kill those bottlenecks before they happen. Then you set firm deadlines, and this one is crucial. You formalize the breakdown process, and you put all of it into one centralized document so everyone is literally on the same page. It's all about creating absolute, undeniable clarity. Now look, this system does take a little bit of work on the front end, but the payoff is massive. Let's talk about the real concrete wins this brings, not just for your daily operations, but for your venue's entire reputation. The operational wins happen immediately. You'll see less traffic, fewer conflicts, and a much calmer staff. This stuff hits your bottom line directly by cutting down on overtime and protecting your property from accidental damage. And here's the wild part. Your vendors will love you for this. Professionals crave clear, consistent direction. You'll become known as the easiest, most buttoned-up venue to work with. This quote right here might just be the most powerful idea in this whole thing. Your clients, they're never going to see your logistics document. They'll never know it exists, but they will absolutely feel its effect. They'll feel it in the calm, organized setup. They'll feel it when the ceremony starts exactly on time. That seamless execution is what builds unshakable confidence and a 5-star reputation. So if you only remember one thing from all this, please let it be this. Control over access equals control over execution. When you professionally manage who is on your property, when they're there, and how they operate, you gain total command over the outcome of the entire event. It really is that simple. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Are your smooth, successful events the result of a well-designed, repeatable procedure, or have you just been getting lucky? The answer to that question is going to define the future stability and success of your venue. Thanks for tuning in.